Every day, hundreds of millions of searches are carried out on Chinese language web search engines. And to give you an idea of what's trending amongst Chinese net users, here on China Take, we choose a selection of the most popular of those searches. Our first top search today comes from Baidu.com, and it is 5-spiced toothpick meat. Well, toothpick meat is a popular type of finger food served either in restaurants or at street stalls in China. They consist of small chunks of cooked pork, mutton or chicken, flavoured with spices, usually 5-spice, and served on a toothpick. Unfortunately, this time the search doesn't have to do with the recipe, but with yet another food safety scandal. This time from the Zhengzhou Evening News. The newspaper reported that a small illegal factory in a local village, Xinjiang, was using rotten meat, usually from animals that had died from disease, to make into cheap toothpick meat, which it then sold to restaurants. A reporter for the paper said the stench of rotting meat pervaded the factory and that even dogs in the area wouldn't touch it. A worker at the factory told the newspapers that 1 ton of meat, when it was mixed with tapioca flour and various additives, could produce 2 tons of this toothpick meat. He added that each day this small factory produced more than 300 pounds, which are then sold for about $1 a pound. Local police have since arrested 5 people, including the boss of the factory. Next up, on Sina.com, we have Beijing to control smog within 3 years. Well, smog has certainly been in the news this winter, with Beijing and other Chinese cities, mainly in northern China, regularly hit by periods of intense air pollution. In fact, this winter saw some of the worst air quality indices over a sustained period of about 3 months. Now, this phrase, being eagerly searched for by Beijingers, concerns a new promise from the Beijing municipal government to control not just smog, but also sewage, garbage and illegal construction in the capital. Using typical official hyperbole, it calls these the 4 recurring environmental illnesses. Specifically, the authorities say that from 2013 to 2015, they'll set up dozens of new recycled water plants and sewage disposal plants, build 5 incineration plants to deal with 70% of the city's waste, and make a listing of all illegal constructions, which it then promises will be demolished next year. All the work is expected to cost over $16 billion. And in terms of smog control, well, Fang Li, the deputy director of Beijing's Environmental Protection Bureau, said the government will continue to take measures to cut emissions for air quality improvement this year. And he said when air quality is especially poor, the city will set up an emergency headquarters to resolve the problem. Well, finally, we check out this search on 360.com, and it is Cihai includes Leslie Chung. Cihai refers here to China's most respected and comprehensive lexicography. It's often referred to as a dictionary in China. It actually has more of the function of, or a mixture of the functions of a dictionary and an encyclopedia. And Leslie Chung, better known as Zhang Guorong to mainland Chinese, was a hugely popular Hong Kong singer and movie star, known right across Asia and famous really in Chinese communities worldwide. He took his own life on April the 1st, 2003 at the age of just 46. For the past decade, fans, friends and colleagues have held commemorative activities to remember Chung about that date. Now the Beijing News reports that the icon's name has been included as an entry in Cihai. And editors for Cihai described the move, which they said it was actually decided on and took place in 2009, but was only reported recently. They said it was a breakthrough since it was the first time a contemporary actor had an entry of their own. They said the newspaper usually doesn't include a name until 10 or 20 years after the person's death, since it needs time to judge their contributions and influence on society. But they said in Chung's case, they felt confident they could do so only 6 years after his death. Well, that's it for our look at some of the top searches taking place in China today. You're watching China Take, and coming up next, a Chinese blogger's views on why young entrepreneurs in China have it so tough compared to those in other countries.